saw a couple of you guys mention, like, have we learned nothing after Chadwick Boseman? Yeah, so in the last year, Michelle Trachtenberg, the photos that she had posted, she does look very different from her former self. And right now, we don't know how she died. We just know that she had recently undergone a liver transplant. But of course, the internet, people on the internet, love to just say things as if they are fact and also say things that are incredibly mean. And we talk about, like, have we learned nothing from Chadwick Boseman? Because in Chadwick Boseman's final year, he passed away in 2020. He died from cancer. He had colon cancer. And there were a lot of people online who were making cruel comments about his appearance. And then when he passed and the public found out that he had been, he had been suffering from stage 4 colon cancer, and that's what killed him. It was a reminder of, hey, you don't know what people are undergoing in their personal lives. And a lot of times when people are, let's say, sick with something, they're not going to announce it to strangers, right? Like, it's nobody's fucking business what health issues somebody is dealing with. And so whether or not they are struggling with an addiction or they have like health problems or whatever it is, shut the fuck up. Shut up, because it is an incredibly personal thing. And yet people just have learned nothing. And comments like this were all over Michelle's posts from her last year. And I went and looked at it today and I saw a lot of people being like, hey, everyone who was being so fucking mean, do you feel good about yourselves now? Saying things like, heroin addiction is so sad. Damn, you look like you need help. There is something wrong and I'm not a hater. How do you look older than Sarah Michelle Gellar? Say no to drugs. Just people assuming all sorts of things and then feeling as if they have the right to go comment those things on a post of someone who they do not know. Yeah, it's awful. Like, it's absolutely awful. And people, I saw comments too. I saw comments too, people being like, well, a lot of the comments on her posts over the last year were just fans of hers who were concerned. And it's like, shut up. All right. You know exactly the type of comments we're talking about. This is not like fans being concerned where it's none of your business. Okay. Like, do you think that Michelle Trachtenberg is going to learn something about her own health from a random person who she didn't know, posting on her Instagram? Hey, something looks like it's wrong with you. Do you think that she wasn't aware of her own health problems? She does look jaundiced, which makes sense given the later liver transplant. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think without like saying as fact, it seems as if whatever was the cause of her death is related to the fact that she had a liver transplant. There's many reasons that people have a liver transplant. We don't know what the reason was, but the point is like commenting on whether it's a celebrity or just any person online and like saying something about that person that you are stating as fact when you have no fucking idea what's actually going on is just such internet behavior. And I don't know where people get off thinking that they can say this type of stuff. Like, I guess I'm also just someone where if I saw a picture, like I hadn't even seen what Michelle Trachtenberg had been looking like recently. I had not thought of Michelle Trachtenberg. Well, I thought of her briefly when the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot was announced because I was thinking about like the whole cast and who's going to come back. But I hadn't looked at any of her social media or like checked in to see what she was up to until I saw the news of her passing. And I also just can't imagine being a person who, even if I thought this, would comment that. Like, I don't understand like where that disconnect comes from. Like, you see someone who you know were a fan of their work, and then you haven't seen them in quite some time, and you're like, wow, okay, they look really different. But then what is the, like, how do you go from that to then commenting something like there's something wrong with you, or are you addicted to drugs on their post? Such a strange impulse. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's so fucking weird. Okay, here's Blake Lively posting about Michelle Trachtenberg. Oh, you know, another thing that I have seen, this is how fucked up the internet is. Okay, we're broken. We're just broken. There were a lot of people commenting on the news of Michelle Trachtenberg saying, why wasn't it Blake Lively? Why couldn't it be Blake? Why Michelle and not Blake? What are we doing here? What are we doing, y'all? Your instinct, what you type out on your phone and post online in response to finding out that Michelle Trachtenberg, an actress from a lot of people's childhoods, has sadly passed away, is to be like, you know what? I wish it had been this other actress who I don't like, because I think she's a mean girl. And so I wish that she had died instead. Jesus!
In the weeks leading up to her death, Trachtenberg posted several selfies in which she looked somewhat gaunt, leading to numerous comments about her appearance alongside speculation about whether she would return in the upcoming Buffy reboot. While some were quite unkind, as comments on the internet so often are, others expressed concern. One person commented on a January 26th post, "Please don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it." Another wrote on a February 12th selfie, "You seem unwell. I wish you the best."
I just think we shouldn't do that, you know? Also, the narrator, this is Nikki Swift. A lot of times I stay away from these types of videos, but yes, it's very much so the XOXO Gossip Girl. So I just think this is something, like I said before, that we should we as the public should not comment on. Like, I think it's just good practice to bear in mind that that we don't know what is going on in people's lives. And so rather than comment stuff like, hey, you should ask for help, or like, you look like something is wrong with you. People did the same thing to yeah, and then they were doing that to Mother's Milk, the guy who plays MM in Boys. They were doing that to him too when the new episode had come out. And so it's like, okay, yeah, we're just doing this every time. I think people are desensitized. There's a separation between celebs and real world empathy and compassion. Yeah, I mean, a celebrity, you know, brings with it a big spotlight, and you have people who have formed unhealthy parasocial type relationships with you, but also just people who think that they can say whatever they want to say online. But this is also something that just is like indicative of the internet at large, where people don't stop to think about the things that they say online. And it's weird because it's like, we talk all the time about how if you saw somebody in real life, would you go up to them and be like, hey, you look like shit? Like, what's wrong? You know, something's wrong with you. I think you look like shit. No. But we do it online because it's like it removes the part of our brain that tells us we're being an asshole and that it's none of our fucking business. And anyway.
At the time, none of the commenters were aware of Trachtenberg's liver condition, but comments posted after her death brought it up. One wrote, in response to several earlier comments about the color of Trachtenberg's eyes in that same February 12th post, she had liver disease, that's why her eyes are yellow. Other posts from Trachtenberg's account show she was clearly looking back to happier days in the earlier parts of her career. Her final post on February 18th was a red carpet photo from the premiere of the 2013 TV movie Killing Kennedy. Along with the hashtag throwback, she captioned it, "I wanted to look like naughty Tinkerbell." Another post from February 15th was a photo from when
There's an IG model who I won't name. She has anorexia and has talked about it for years, and every comment is just about how she looks dead or how future documentaries will be made about her death. People are cruel.
Trachtenberg attended the 2011 School of American Ballet Winter Ball in New York. Again, with a throwback hashtag, she captioned that one. "A memory, a magical night in New York. I remember feeling like Cinderella, wishing everyone an ethereal weekend." Other throwback posts included a 2020 photo from an Art of Elysium event in Los Angeles and a Valentine's Day post from her Complex magazine photo shoot in 2010. Trachtenberg was most active on Instagram. While she had an X account, she hadn't updated it since 2021 when she was promoting her to-be-true crime series Meet, Marry, Murder. The comments in the weeks before her death were far from the first time Trachtenberg got some online flack for her appearance. Almost exactly a year before, in January 2024, she responded to some unfavorable comments about her appearance after she posted a selfie alongside fellow former child actor Alexa Penavega. When a commenter said Trachtenberg looked sick and asked if she was okay, Trachtenberg replied, "Explain to me how I look sick. Did you lose a calendar and not realize I'm not 14? I'm 38. How sad for you to leave such a comment."
I want to sit down with bullies one day and say why.
That didn't put an end to the speculation about Trachtenberg's health, though. A post the following day showing off a new ombre hairstyle also drew numerous comments about her appearance and well-being. It's unclear just how long the actress was ill, but what does seem certain is that she was determined to keep it private, even in light of seemingly constant demands to go public.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about it too, is it's like almost bullying people into revealing what's going on in their lives. And here's the thing is, if someone is experiencing a health condition, it is their right. It is their right to decide what to do with revealing what's going on with them or not. Whether they are a celebrity or a non-celebrity. Like we're not owed anything, and nobody should have to disclose what it is that's happening in their personal lives. And the other thing too about this is this does happen with celebrities who were famous from a young age. And then guess what? Like everybody else in this world, they do get older. And so it's yes, maybe something else is going on besides aging, but it's also the fact that people age. And if you're looking at photos of them from when they were 14 years old on your favorite television show and then comparing it to when they're in their, when they're 40, there's going to be changes from when you are aging. In my opinion, not to mention we live in a crazy ableist world, so revealing any kind of information about any impairment is going to affect your career negatively, so wanting to stay silent makes sense too. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons that people choose to guard their private and personal life, and if they are undergoing something health-wise, deciding not to reveal that is their decision, and it's nobody's business. And yet it's like with the internet, they will try, it's like they'll try and bully you. They'll try and harass you into into revealing what it is that's going on. And oftentimes too, it's like they'll just make up their own minds anyway.
With her condition. As one commenter noted on a February 9th post, Michelle was clearly fighting a secret battle. I hope she knew how many of us loved and admired her.
Yeah, and with celebrities too, hiding the fact that they are sick so that they're not kept from roles. It's a thing too that women will do when they're pregnant. Anything that is a change with your body, with your health, in an industry that is very not going to let you have these health issues or be going through something like having a baby. That's why they would keep it secret. There's it's a very competitive industry, not a lot of jobs to go around, and so you don't want to do something that's going to make it even harder to get hired. Keeps happening with retired athletes and their former shitty teammates leaking their health info. Yeah, I don't know. I just keep saying it's like this thing with the internet where we think that we are owed somebody's, like, all the details about somebody's private life, and especially if they are of a celebrity status where we don't see them as human beings, and we're like, no, we demand that we demand all these things, and you are not owed any privacy. And then there's the discourse around Ariana for the past couple years, but her fans have been pushing against it in the worst way possible. So it's a mess all around. Yeah. And then the Ariana Grande situation is tricky because on the one hand, holding Ariana up as an example of, oh yeah, this is what you should look like. And the way that some of her very, very toxic fans are engaging in unhealthy practices and eating disorders because they think that Ariana is like the pinnacle of health and like what you should look like, and they are worshiping it. And so that has gotten really weird, and that's gotten really, really messy, and I don't know. There's a lot of problems within the Ariana Grande standum. Liver issues can arise in people out of nowhere, such as jaundice and non-alcohol related cirrhosis. They can destroy your body and your life, especially cirrhosis. It can make your liver useless based on the severity. And that's the other thing too, is that having liver damage, needing something like a liver transplant, does not mean that you were an alcoholic. And so I'm sure a lot of people will still assume that she was an alcoholic because she had issues with her liver. Is there a healthy stan community? No.